In this lesson, we're going to cover aligning and distributing objects on your Flash stage. We're also going to touch on a couple of quick ways you can resize two or more objects to match each other's dimensions. Most of the things we're going to do in this lesson we're able to do from the Modify menu. Under Modify and Align, you'll see a bunch of entries that allow us to align objects and distribute them, and also some resizing options further down. At the bottom, we can tell Flash to perform these operations in relation to the stage instead of just the objects we're working on. Now, I'm only showing you these now so that you know where they are, and so you can have a look at the keyboard shortcuts, because they're very useful. A better way of accessing these operations is through the Align panel. And like the other panels, you can get to it by choosing Window and Align, or by hitting Control-K on a PC, Command-K on a Mac. In the Align panel, we have buttons for everything that we saw in the Align menu, but we have a few extra to play with as well. Let's have a look through the buttons now. The buttons in the top half of the Align panel are arranged into groups of 3, with each 3 performing similar functions. The first group here allows us to align horizontally. We can align the left edges of 2 or more selected objects. We can align the centers of them or the right edges. I'll select my objects here on my stage, and let's have a look at the result. Left edge, center, and right edge. Okay, let's undo that. And the buttons on the top right allow us to align vertically. Align top edge, vertical center, or bottom edge. Here's the top edge, vertical center, and bottom edge. And again, we'll undo that. And the next row of buttons allows us to distribute objects, that is, spread them out evenly. The left set of 3 buttons allows us to distribute vertically, and the right set allows us to distribute horizontally. And we can do this using either edge or the center of each object as the reference point of that object. Now when we do this, Flash uses the outermost objects to define the range of distribution. I'll demonstrate this by moving this object over here, selecting all of them, and choosing Distribute Horizontal Center. The objects are spread out evenly. If we undo this and move the object back here, they're spread differently. Okay, moving right along, the next group of 3 buttons at the bottom left allows us to modify the dimensions of objects to make multiple objects all the same size. And we can do this for width in the horizontal direction or for height in the vertical. And finally, we can do both at the same time. We'll choose width. Now they're all the same width, and height. Okay, back that up. The last 2 buttons here deal with spacing. Say, for example, we have a collection of objects of different dimensions. If we simply used Distribute, this won't always look right. Instead, we can use spacing, and the spaces between the objects are all made equal. Let's try Distribute Horizontal Centers, and we'll just align these things vertically. You can see that it doesn't look that tidy, but if I select them all again and choose Space Evenly Horizontally, that's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And last but not least, we can tell Flash to perform any of these operations in relation to the stage and not to the objects that are being worked on. Let's try selecting everything and aligning them to their left edges. Before we do this, we'll turn on the To Stage button. Well, now everything is all the way over on the left of the stage. Ball. These are the positions of the ball at each keyframe. Hold it. Let's go top. and so on. This is a really good way to position something right in the center of your stage. Now, to wrap this lesson up, you'll probably find if you play with these operations a little bit that you can't easily do things like centering an array of objects to the stage. If I arrange my objects like so, and distribute them evenly, and then try to center the whole group of them on the stage, I can't do it. We can do this vertically fairly easily, but as soon as I hit Align Horizontal Center, they're all moved to the center. So we've lost our pretty little spacing. To do this, we need to group these objects, and that's what we're going to do in the next lesson. So let's move on.